He picked its head up and came up.
I never imagined anything that big in Lake Champlain.
It turned around and it went out into darkness.
Lake Champlain, a serene freshwater lake in northern New England that covers more than 400 square miles. It is bordered on the east by New York and the west by Vermont. The lake is a quiet place mainly used by small crafts, ferries, and lake cruises, and perhaps something else.
A torso about the size of a pony.
A crocodile shaped like a seal.
A good 6 to 8 feet long.
Eyewitnesses today describe the creature as long, sleek, and prehistoric looking. It's estimated to be between 6 and 25 feet in length, possibly humpbacked, with a snake-like head. The locals call it Champ, America's Loch Ness. And like Scotland's famed Nessie, hundreds claim to have seen it. In 1849, 2 Irish workmen were helping to construct the first railroad between Rutland and Burlington, Vermont, when they unearthed an extremely large set of bones. It wasn't until later that an expert recognized the significance of their find. Zadok Thompson, a prominent naturalist and state geologist from Vermont, determined that this 12,000-year-old fossil bore a strong resemblance to the still existing beluga whale. As it turned out, the Charlotte whale fossil was proof that the area had a fascinating geological history. Less than 11,000 years ago, what is now Lake Champlain was connected directly to the Atlantic.
It was in existence for probably 2,000, maybe 2,500 years.
Does the one-time presence of salt water shed light on modern, unexplained sightings in Lake Champlain? Ellen Marsden is a University of Vermont fisheries biologist. She acknowledges that some fish found today in Lake Champlain evolved from saltwater ancestors.
Most of them are native fish that have been here ever since the Champlain Sea receded. There were some fish that had remained in the lake from saltwater, such as our Atlantic salmon or sturgeon.
As the numbers of settlers in the Lake Champlain area grew, so did the reports of sightings of their legendary lake monster. 1873 was a particularly busy year for Champ. The New York Times reported that a railroad crew on the lake had seen an enormous serpent head with shining scales. In July, Clinton County Sheriff Nathan H. Mooney reported an enormous snake or water serpent he thought was 25 to 35 feet long. The following month, the steamship W.B. Eddy encountered Champ by running into it. According to tourists on board, the ship nearly capsized. July 5, 1977. Near St. Albans, Vermont, Sandra Mancy and her 2 children and her husband are taking a leisurely walk along the lakefront.
Do you see something out there?
And then the head and the neck, right here, broke the surface. My legs gave out. I went down on my knees. The whole thing hit me at that point. And I had the camera, and I picked the camera up, and I took the photograph.
She said the head of the creature she saw rose 6 feet out of the water, and at least 12 feet of its body was exposed.
I want people to know that this is real. This is exactly what I saw.
According to Mancy, the entire sighting lasted around 5 or 6 minutes. In June of 2002, von Muggenthaler's team recorded audio within the deep waters of Lake Champlain. She was astounded by what she heard.
The first sound that you will hear is the sound we recorded from Lake Champlain. And the second sound is killer whale. And you can actually hear the similarities. The first time we got echolocation was right in here, right around 24 feet in Button Bay. The second time we got echolocation was right in here at Hunter Bay. And the third place we got echolocation was right in Town Farm Bay at approximately 30 feet. Echolocation only exists in those creatures that have a highly evolved communication center. There is no known fish or mammal besides whale or dolphin that produce echolocation.
She believes the most logical explanation for the sounds is a uniquely evolved creature. Christine Hebert is at her family's marina just north of Burlington when her 2 dogs begin barking excitedly.
This night, both the dogs were barking, and they were right on their hind legs with the leash right out. And it come out of the woods, and it come right here under the light, and it stopped. But it moved out, it turned around, and it went out into darkness.
1 week later, the creature returned to Hebert's Marina.
My mother was with me this time. I couldn't even talk. I was pulling my mother out and trying to tell her, Jim, Jim. It came very slow, and it didn't stop. It came right up to the light. But that was a brown one. It was not as big as the green one. There was no mistake on the second sighting. That was like a dinosaur head.
Eyewitness accounts are so common and apparently credible. In 1982, both the Vermont House of Representatives and the New York State Senate passed laws to protect Champ. Even without definitive proof, the creature was put on the endangered species list as a precaution. The law will protect the creature if anyone eventually does come upon a Champ.
The echolocation found in Lake Champlain is the first and only echolocation found in a freshwater lake. And for that itself, the science is amazing.